Hello everyone, my name is Melanie Stevenson. This is my video to explain the three different listening strategies that can be incorporated into different concept books. I have a math concept book, a reading concept book, and the last concept book I chose is one on colors. The first book that I'm going to introduce to you is called Gobble Gobble Crash, A Barnyard Counting Bash by Julie Stagmeyer. The purpose of my listening strategy for this book is a math focus. This book can be incorporated to help students on number identification. However, the book does not have the actual numbers printed on the page. It does have the number word, which I thought would be good. That might be, once they get used to actually seeing the number, then they can move on into identifying the number word. And to go along with this strategy, I found a really neat little tray that was actually part of a game, but I thought it would be really neat to use for this because it is numbered 1 through 10, and it has these little slots to hold marbles, which I thought would be really neat. And each one of these slots does have the number listed. So I thought for part of this activity, as I read and I ask them to identify, how many numbers of whichever barnyard animal it is that they see, they can put the correct number of marbles. And then also they can identify the number word and maybe even spell it out. That might be a little bit of an extension for this activity. So for instance, I could read, fireflies danced in the dark summer sky and crickets in the garden played their music in reply. The farm was very quiet as the night replaced the day, while one lonely mare nibbled softly on some hay. And I thought this page was a good page to start with because I liked the word mare was in here. Not a lot of students may know what the word mare means. So that would be a good vocabulary word that they could learn, and I could explain to them. I could stop here and take a minute to explain to them that a mare is a female horse. So then I could ask them, how many mares do you see in this picture? One mare. Show me one mare. And then they could put their marble on the number 1. Again, we could work with the number word and say, can anyone tell me which one of these is the number word? 1, correct. And maybe we could even go on to extend it a little bit even farther than that and have them spell it. O-N-E, 1. Another thing that I liked about this book, and it may be for a little bit older of a student, which I thought was okay. But once you get to the back of the book, once you get all the way up to 10, it counts 1 through 10. But then once you get to the end, towards the end of the story, it starts to count backwards from 10 to 9 to 8, and so on. So I thought that might even be able to be incorporated into this somehow, or this book could even be used for that math concept as far as counting backwards from 10. And I thought we could still use our tray even, and once it's full to 10, then we could say, okay, show me 9, and they could take one away. So it might, subtraction could even be worked into this math book right here. So that's Gobble Gobble Crash, A Barnyard Counting Bash by Julie Stagmeyer. The book that I chose for my reading strategy is Tumble Bumble by Felicia Bond. The purpose of my listening strategy for this book is a reading focus, and the reading concept that I am wanting my students to work with this book is rhyming words. I've read this book to my children for a long time. They've always enjoyed it. It's got really, really vivid, bright, colorful pictures. But I thought what would be a fun activity for this to develop their reading for their listening strategy would be to incorporate this little emoji stick that I found, which I thought was really cute. But when I read the page and they hear rhyming words, they could lift their stick, and then I could call on a particular student, and then they could tell me the rhyming words that they hear. For example, a tiny bug went for a walk. He met a cat and stopped to talk. They hear the rhyming words, they can lift their stick. I can say, call on a particular student, ask them, did you hear rhyming words in that passage? Okay, tell me what they are. Can you tell me what the words were? Walk and talk. Correct. Do you see anybody walking on this page? Yes, the ant is walking. Walking by the cat. They fell in step and strolled a while and bumped into a crocodile. Does anybody hear any rhyming words on this page? They could lift their stick, and then I could call on another student and ask them, did you hear rhyming words? Yes. Can you tell me what they were? While and crocodile. Do you really think you'd see a crocodile walking down the street? No. The crocodile grinned wide with glee, then introduced her friend the bee. Do you hear rhyming words on this page? Yes. And then so forth. And like I say, this book has rhyming words on every page. So I thought that would be cute, just kind of, that would be a good exercise for them to listen to rhyming words and be able to identify them. So that's Tumble Bumble by Felicia Bond. Now for my last listening strategy, I chose a concept book on colors called The Crayon Box That Talked by Shane DeRolf. The purpose of my listening strategy for this book is a focus on identifying colors. And the tool that I wanted to incorporate with this is something that all students will have anyway, so it's not, we don't have to have anything special, no special props or game pieces or anything like that, but they can use the crayons that they have, since the book is about crayons. So I thought when I read this book to my students, when they hear the name of a particular color, they can raise their crayon. They could raise the correct colored crayon. When they hear the word blue, raise the blue crayon. For example, while walking in a toy store the day before today, I overheard a crayon box with many things to say. I don't like red, said yellow. And green, said nor do I. And no one here likes orange, but no one knows just why. And then I could ask them, if they identify any other colors on this page, because there is purple and blue and brown. And we could also get into a conversation about why they don't think they like the other crayons. Because you can see some emotions in this book. The green crayon looks angry. And the yellow, he doesn't look like he wants to be friends with red. So that might be a good conversation starter too, as far as why the students think that these crayons don't get along. We are a box of crayons that doesn't get along, said Blue to all the others. Something here is wrong. And so forth. And like I say, the colors are listed throughout the book. So as we go on, there's red and blue and green, black and white. So like I said, that right there could be incorporated into identifying colors. And the tool that we could use with that is, like I said, something that all students will have. They can get their crayons out of their box or out of their desk and use that as their listening strategy tool for this book. Again, that's The Crayon Box That Talked by Shane DeRolf. I hope you enjoyed my video. There's probably some other listening strategies that we could use to go along with some of these books, but I thought these were some fun ideas. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.